What is happening, guys? Mike here, welcome back to the channel. Now I gotta tell you guys, I am very excited for today's video. I've been waiting to get into these products for quite some time now, and today we are finally gonna do it. That's right, today we are jumping all the way in with the Stickmore Hair Company. We're gonna be talking about their products, demos, my thoughts, and everything in between. And we're starting right now. Alright, once again, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in today. You know, I really appreciate you guys who watch these videos and keep coming back week after week. It really means a lot to me. And to really show you guys how much I appreciate that, we recently started a little thing here called Subscriber Spotlight. Today the spotlight is on Aditya Sharma and his awesome quiff done up with the killer combo of Original by Blumon and Dynamite Clay from By Villain. Now, I'm so sorry if I messed up that name. I really tried to get it right, but awesome style. Thank you so much for the submission. I really think it looks great. And if you guys want to be featured in a future video, info will be in the description for you guys to check out and send in your photos. Now though, let's talk about Stickmore. I have had the distinct pleasure of getting to know the guys behind this brand, Jacob and Cyrus, for the past few months. And let me tell you, they are just genuinely awesome guys, and the first thing I can tell you about this brand is there is a ton of passion and knowledge behind it. But we've got a lot to get through today on these three jars. We got info, demos on each, the whole nine. I'm going all the way this one, so let's get started. Here we go. Coming across my desk today is the new homebrewed creations from the Stickmore Hair Company. Up first is the clay fiber. According to the brand, the Stickmore clay fiber is designed to be the answer to all the issues seen in matte finish products today. It features a firm hold and a matte finish and a smooth cologne type scent referred to as the Stickmore Original. Price-wise, we're looking at $22.97 for 4 ounces. Let's take a look inside the jar here and see what we're working with. Here we got kind of a typical clay look in the product, but scooping it out, we can see that it's got a very smooth feel to it, and it comes out without much effort at all, and then transfers to the breakdown very smooth and continues to break down just as easy. Moving on to our next product here, which is the Hybrid. Again, according to the brand, this is meant to be a combination of a water-based cream and an oil-based pomade. It sports a firm hold, medium shine, and the same Stickmore Original scent. This one also comes in a 4-ounce jar and sells for $17.97 US. Looking inside this jar, we're met with a white and creamy looking product. Getting inside that jar though reveals just how creamy this product is. It's extremely lightweight, and while it's not lotion-like or liquidy like others, it does absolutely have that lotion-like breakdown. And last but certainly not least, we have the Stickmore water-based. This of course is a gel type water-based that offers a strong hold, medium shine, and again the same Stickmore Original scent. Just like the others, this one comes in a 4-ounce jar, but this one does sell for $16.97 US. Taking a look under the hood with this one, we got pretty much the standard orthodox or gel type water base here. It is clear in appearance and does come out of the jar slightly thick but slick, as it should. Breaking it down, I can feel the tack within the product begin to come out, and oddly enough, I feel a bit of dryness within the breakdown as well. Now, oddly enough, I've been asked a lot why I refer to water-based pomades like this as gel types, and I kind of thought it was self-explanatory, but I guess in some communities they aren't called gel types, they're just called water-based pomades. But the reason why I call them that is because not all water-based pomades act like they do. And that is why we oftentimes refer to them as orthodox and unorthodox water-based pomades, because the newer style pomades, the unorthodox ones, don't usually harden up like the orthodox or gel types do, and the unorthodox ones often allow for easy restyling, while the other ones harden up in the hair, you know, like gel type. Enough lessons for today though. We gotta see how these style, and I think because we were talking about gel types, we should start with that. I'm starting this demo today in damp hair because, well, gel types. Adding this product into my hair is very easy, as again it should be with what we've seen from these types of products. It does feel a bit dry here, but the problem isn't with that. The problem will come here in a second. I am using 2 scoops here, and then as usual I begin to hit it with the comb, and this is where the problem resides for me. It seems that the product, while holding up great, doesn't want to allow my hair to fully style. It wants to sort of hold it right in place. You can see here that rather than allow it to mold and bend, it wants to just stick out, which is problematic. To fix this, I did add in a bit more water to my hair, not a whole lot, but that seemed to at least allow me to get somewhat of a shape and finish out the style. Now, we will talk more about this in my final thoughts, but we do got to keep things rolling here. Because we're looking at 3 different products, I didn't feel we had time to film up 3 separate endurance tests. I did, though, think it was important to show you guys the hardening up that occurred with this gel type pomade. I think that is one of the key things that we use to judge products of this type, so let's take a quick look at that. Honestly here, I think it hardened up to a pretty normal level. There are some spots that it's harder than others, but overall it's really not too bad. Now, as far as endurance on this one, what I saw here was the style locked very nicely for the majority of the day. It was totally locked in. It was about 100 degrees Fahrenheit though on the day that I tested this, and needless to say it was very hot, it was very humid, and I did notice that as I started to sweat a little bit, the product would kind of respond by loosening up a little. It really wasn't very much, but I did notice that it came out just a little bit, but again, it was very hot, so I don't really think that's such a huge deal. Let's go ahead and move on to the hybrid though, and let me tell you, I think this one was very interesting to test. On the jar itself, it does recommend using this one in dry hair for more hold, and after testing it in both damp and dry hair, I quickly determined that this one does need to be used in dry hair for me. Reason being that this one for my hair has a kind of oddball effect going on here. It doesn't have very much hold in itself in the traditional sense, but it does have control. And I think that is the 2 types of products working together here. It applies to the hair with very much ease. It's not really sticky at all, so no tug or pull is present, and combing really couldn't be easier. I gotta tell you, I think this one was very different for me as far as products that I've seen lately, and I was really curious to see how it would perform throughout the day. Again, to save time, I didn't film each bit, but I was actually very surprised to see that for the most part, it held up all day. It did melt just a little bit in the heat, like I said before with the gel type, but for the most part, what I saw was by the end of the day, it still had a little bit of control, which again compensated for hold, which I think was still pretty light by the end of the day, but I also think some of that initial greasiness kind of lifted from the initial style as well. Again, I am going to be giving you my final thoughts on that and the rest of these at the end of the video, so stick with me here. We got one more to go through, and I saved this one for last because really it's the one I liked the best. All right, here we go with the clay fiber. This was the one I was most keen to test. You know, I love me a good clay. And we also know using clays on dry hair is really the way to go, and this one is no different. This one comes out and enters the hair so smooth. It doesn't tug at all, but instantly I did feel a little grittiness from the clay, and then the waxes followed from there, and as you can see, it pretty much begins styling itself. You can use a comb here. It doesn't actually tug at all. It was very easy to use a comb or brush, but for me, using my fingers was just as awesome. I really just felt like my hair responded very well to this product. Now, I did film up the endurance clips for this one because I figured out of the 3, this was the one you guys would be most curious about. At 4 hours, that texture is still very much present and the style is holding up very well and still looking awesome. At 8 hours, I think maybe the hold has dropped a tiny bit, but overall it still looks great in my opinion. Restyling it also went very well, I think. Here it responds, as you can see, to just running my hands through it pretty much. It brings the volume back up and really just resets things here for the style. Looking at it up close, I spent a long time trying to figure out why I thought it was so different, and finally it hit me. This stuff has somewhat of a similar consistency to the Lockhart's Transcend, except it's totally different once it hits the hair, which I think is why I think it's so unique. Washing this one out really wasn't all that difficult. It does not come all the way out with water. A lot of it I think actually did come out when I rinsed my hair with the water, but one shampoo really just had it all the way out. It really wasn't that big a deal. I think though the only thing that I have to say that could be perceived as criticism would be that I don't really see the whole fiber aspect in the product. And that's why I say criticism, because I just don't think that it really matters all that much, because really when it comes down to it, what actually is a fiber and what does it do in the hair? I think that's a very broad topic that we could perhaps spend an entire episode talking about. But I think the short answer for today is I just don't see any of the fiber effects in the hair. But as I just said, what I did see in the product, I really enjoyed. I think this one will work for people of all hair types, and especially because it can be used as a pre-styler as well, which I think worked very well for me if I used a small amount. If I used too much, I think it kind of overpowered the hair a little bit. And so for my hair, I think the real performance came in with using it in dry hair. Moving on though to the hybrid, that one, like I said, was in its own way kind of unique. It's a hybrid of a petro-based and a water-based cream, but for the most part for me, I think this acted a little more like a hair balm with a little bit more control. It's got a big helping of shine in there and a lot of slickness, but really I gotta tell you, the hold for me just wasn't there. For me, that control was good enough to style, as you saw, but it was still loose, so I don't think I quite got that firm hold that they said this has. But if you do have thinner hair than me, then possibly you could get a little more hold out of this. For me though, it was a little bit hard to judge because the control was overall enough to style, but I just didn't feel like the hold was also present in connection with the control. It's a little bit hard to describe. Washing it out though, I think was pretty much just as easy as the clay. One shampoo took it right out of my hair, and actually rinsing it out with just water made my hair feel very nice and conditioned, but that shine was still present, so using the shampoo was necessary to get it fully out. And lastly, we have the pomade. This one really wasn't bad in my opinion. It did hold up fairly well throughout the day. The only things that really were problematic for me was the styling. I really just felt like this wasn't that easy for me to style with, but I would like to mention that on their website, they do recommend that this be applied to dry hair. But when I did test that, I found that the effects that I got in damp hair were much more exaggerated, which then made it a bit harder for me to get a style than it really already was. So I kind of weighed the options and then chose damp hair because it worked a little bit better for me than the dry hair. So that's what ended up in the video. But really looking past all that, the hold was fine. The endurance outside of the heat, which I think is a killer to a lot of products, was not bad. And really the restyle worked just as expected with adding in a little bit of water and restyling. It worked just fine. And then with washing it out, it actually rinsed out completely with just water. So I hope that gives you guys a full look on this one and how it worked for me. Now, in talking about these, I did not mention the scent, and I did that on purpose because they all three shared the same Stickmore original scent. And I did that so that I could talk about them all at once. I really enjoy the scent. It's like a fresh cologne type scent. It's really smooth and pleasant to the nose. I think they did a great job mixing it, and guys are really going to love it. It's not too strong. I didn't smell it much when it was actually in my hair, but really if I did get a whiff of it here and there, I didn't mind because I thought the scent was really well done. Whew, all right, I think that's it. I think think we finally got through everything. I know that was a lot, but I hope you guys got all the info you need to decide if these are worth your time or not. For me, the clay was one that I'm for sure going to continue to use, and it was definitely my favorite out of all three, but that's just my opinion. I always encourage you guys to take the information I've presented and make your own conclusions. And if you'd like to give any of the products featured today a try, there are 2 ways you can order, and I have discounts for both actually, so it's a win-win. If you are in the US and want to check out the Stickmore website, their information will be in the description along with a coupon code to save you a little money there. If you're outside the US and you want to save a little money on shipping and taxes and things like that, that's just nuts, you can actually find these products and a lot of others at SLIKHAARSHOP.com. So you can get a better deal on your shipping and not pay those outrageous fees by getting it there. And I also have a coupon code for you guys for that shop. It covers everything that they sell, and it's in the description of not only this video, but every single video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure you hit that like button for me. And if you want to see more, just hit that subscribe button there. Thank you very much in advance for doing that. That's a big help to me. But that is it though for today's episode. I want to thank you so much for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. Make sure you stay tuned here for another new video coming your way very soon. But until then, take it easy. I'll see you next time.